Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're about to dive into one of the most iconic coins in US history, the 1944 United States 1-cent coin. Often overshadowed by its more well-known counterparts, the 1944 penny holds a special place in both American history and the hearts of collectors. What's even more intriguing is that this little coin, a seemingly humble piece of currency, could be worth more than you ever imagined. So stick around, and let's take a journey into the fascinating world of the 1944 1-cent coin, exploring its history, design, rarity, and incredible value. In 1944, the United States was in the midst of World War II. The country had been heavily involved in the war effort since 1941, and this period was marked by economic shifts and a significant transformation in the way things were manufactured. During the war, metals were in high demand for military supplies, which led to the U.S. Mint making an important decision to change the composition of several coins, including the 1-cent coin. The most notable change was in the penny's composition, which switched from its usual bronze mix to a copper-plated zinc shell. The change wasn't just due to a lack of copper, it was a response to the wartime demand for metal. This decision led to the creation of the 1944 penny, which is now remembered for both its unique composition and the historical events surrounding its release. The 1944 penny, despite being a product of war, is a beautiful representation of American resilience and innovation. On the obverse side, the coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This image, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has become an enduring symbol of American leadership and ideals. Lincoln's portrait on the coin is surrounded by the words "Liberty" and the year 1944, while the coin's rim is inscribed with the national motto "E pluribus unum." The reverse side of the coin showcases a simple yet powerful design, a pair of wheat stalks, symbolizing the nation's agricultural strength. Between the stalks is the inscription 1 cent, with United States of America above and E pluribus unum again below. But the 1944 penny is not just famous for its design and the role it played during wartime, it is also known for its rarity and collector demand. In total, the U.S. Mint produced a large number of 1944 pennies, and many were put into circulation. However, what makes this coin particularly appealing to collectors is the fact that, like most coins, many of the 1944 pennies suffered wear and tear over time. Finding one in excellent condition, especially in uncirculated quality, is incredibly rare and highly sought after. For most of us, the 1944 penny is just another coin we've seen in our pockets or collections. But to a true coin collector, this penny is far more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of a bygone era, a snapshot of wartime America, and a valuable piece of history. The 1944 penny's value has increased dramatically over the years, especially when you consider its rarity in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. If you happen to have a 1944 penny that has been well preserved, you might just have a small fortune on your hands. Beyond just being rare, the 1944 penny has another intriguing aspect: its composition. As mentioned earlier, the Mint used a copper-plated zinc shell for the 1944 penny due to wartime restrictions on copper. But there's a fascinating twist. Some of the 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck using leftover copper from previous years, leading to a small number of coins being made from 95% copper rather than the usual zinc-coated copper. These rare, copper, 1944 pennies are some of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the world. Their scarcity is what makes them especially prized by collectors, and they can command enormous prices when they surface at auctions or in private collections. What makes the 1944 penny even more exciting is the possibility of minting errors. Over the years, a number of 1944 pennies have been discovered with unique flaws, such as double striking or off-center designs. These errors are fascinating to collectors because they're one-of-a-kind pieces that deviate from the standard design. Minting errors, especially rare ones, can significantly increase a coin's value, turning a modest penny into a highly coveted collector's item. Let's take a moment to talk about the significance of the 1944 penny in the world of numismatics. The coin holds a special place among collectors because of its historical context and the role it played in the U.S. economy during World War II. It represents a time when the country was coming together to support the war effort and when everyday citizens were making sacrifices for the greater good. In many ways, the 1944 penny serves as a reminder of that time of hardship and resilience, adding to its emotional and historical value. Now, let's get to the big question: just how much could a 1944 penny be worth today? You might be surprised to learn that a 1944 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition could be worth a staggering sum. If you have a coin in mint state, especially if it's a rare copper version or one with a minting error, its value could reach as much as $65,000. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a single 1944 penny, depending on its rarity, condition, and any special features it might have. So, the next time you're going through your change or sifting through a coin collection, make sure to take a second look at any 1944 pennies you find. If it's in excellent condition or has a unique feature, you might be holding onto a small treasure. And even if it's not worth a fortune, it's still a fascinating piece of American history that tells a story of perseverance and patriotism during one of the most challenging times in the country's history. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1944 US 1-cent coin. If you're a collector or just someone with a passion for history, this coin is undoubtedly a must-have for your collection. Remember to keep an eye out for those rarer versions of the coin. Who knows, you might just be the next lucky owner of a $65,000 penny. Top 2, we are delving into one of the most fascinating and historically significant pennies in the United States, a coin that holds stories of post-war America, economic recovery, and rare collector appeal. We're talking about the 1949 United States 1-cent coin, a coin that's not just a part of our everyday history, but also holds an incredible value that might surprise you. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how much the 1949 penny could be worth today. The year 1949 marked a time of rebuilding for the United States. The country had just emerged from the turmoil of World War II, and the world was beginning to recover from the economic devastation caused by the conflict. For the United States, this was a period of transition, an era when the country was stabilizing economically, and families were adjusting to peacetime life. The 1949 penny, a humble but important piece of currency, was minted during this time, and it carries with it the essence of the post-war era. The United States Mint produced the 1949 penny as part of its ongoing coinage program. The penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, had been a fixture in American currency for over a century by this time, and it was still one of the most widely circulated coins. The design of the 1949 penny is no different from the one that had been used since 1909, with a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This iconic image of the 16th President of the United States, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has remained one of the most recognized and enduring symbols of American leadership and history. On the reverse side of the 1949 penny, we find the famous wheat ears design. 2 stalks of wheat encircle the words, 1 cent, with the inscription, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, completing the design. The wheat design, which was used on U.S. pennies from 1909 to 1958, is a nod to the country's agricultural roots. The symbolism of wheat as a representation of prosperity and abundance was deeply meaningful during this period in American history, but what truly sets the 1949 penny apart from other coins in the same era is its rarity and the quality of its minting. The United States Mint produced billions of pennies in the years following the war, and the 1949 penny was no exception. However, the challenge for collectors today is finding one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most 1949 pennies, like their counterparts from other years, saw years of circulation, enduring wear and tear from daily transactions. As a result, many of these coins are in less than ideal condition, which has driven up the demand for well-preserved examples. For coin collectors, condition is everything. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, without the usual marks or damage from circulation, are highly sought after. The 1949 penny is no different, and finding one in excellent condition is no easy feat. In fact, only a small percentage of the coins produced that year managed to escape heavy circulation and remain in mint state. Another factor that drives the value of the 1949 penny is its role in the history of U.S. coinage. The post-war period was one of rapid economic and social change, and the coins minted during this time reflect the optimism and rebuilding efforts of the nation. The 1949 penny, though it may appear modest on the surface, serves as a reminder of a pivotal moment in American history, when the country was recovering from the devastation of war and moving forward toward a new era of prosperity. But beyond its historical significance, the 1949 penny is also prized for its rarity in higher grades. The higher the grade of the coin, meaning the better its condition, the more valuable it becomes to collectors. A well-preserved 1949 penny, particularly one that is graded in mint state or uncirculated condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins that have been graded at the highest levels, such as MS-67 or higher, are considered the crème de la crème of the 1949 penny series, and they often fetch astronomical prices at auctions. In addition to well-preserved specimens, there are also certain varieties of the 1949 penny that can significantly increase its value. These varieties are the result of small differences in the minting process, such as variations in the size or positioning of the letters and numbers, or even unique die errors. Minting errors, which happen when a coin is struck incorrectly, can make certain coins even more valuable, as they are rare and difficult to find. Coins with these types of errors can be the most sought-after pieces for serious collectors, and the price for such coins can soar into the thousands of dollars. If you've been paying attention to the growing interest in rare coins, you may already know that certain U.S. pennies, especially those from the 1940s, have become quite valuable in recent years. In particular, the 1949 penny has gained significant attention from collectors and investors alike. The increased demand for coins from this era, combined with their limited availability in pristine condition, has caused prices to rise sharply. You may be wondering just how much a 1949 penny could be worth today, especially if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition. Well, you're in for a surprise. A 1949 penny in excellent condition can be worth a significant amount, especially one with a high grade or a minting error. Depending on its condition and any special features, the value of a 1949 penny can range from a few $100s to an astonishing sum. If you have a rare, high-grade specimen, it could be worth as much as $60,000. So, if you happen to have a 1949 penny lying around in your coin collection or tucked away in a drawer somewhere, it might be time to take a closer look. With its historical significance, rarity, and collector appeal, this penny could very well be a hidden treasure. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, the 1949 penny is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Top 3, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1985 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the 1985 penny. While this coin may seem like just another standard penny from the 1980s, there's a lot more to this little piece of American history than meets the eye. So, stick with us as we explore the history, design, and value of this iconic coin, and trust me, you'll want to hear the stunning value reveal at the end. The year 1985 was a period of economic stability and growth in the United States. The country was experiencing the tail end of the Reagan administration, which saw a booming economy, low inflation, and a surge in consumer confidence. The world was also in the midst of the technological revolution, with personal computers becoming a fixture in homes and businesses across the nation. The 1985 penny, minted during this exciting time, is more than just a product of the 1980s, it's a coin that represents an era of prosperity, innovation, and change. At first glance, the 1985 penny might seem like an ordinary coin, one of the many billions that were struck and circulated across the country. However, what many people don't realize is that this particular penny, like all coins, holds a unique story and significance. By examining its design, the economic factors behind its creation, and its place in U.S. coinage history, we can better understand why this penny is worth a closer look. The design of the 1985 penny follows the traditional Lincoln Memorial style that had been used on U.S. pennies since 1959. On the obverse side, you'll find the famous profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, which was sculpted by artist Victor David Brenner. This design is iconic, and it has become one of the most enduring symbols of American leadership and democracy. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions "Liberty" and the year 1985, with the coin's rim inscribed with the national motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one." On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which has graced the back of the penny since 1959. The memorial is an important national symbol, representing not only Lincoln's legacy but also the unity of the United States. It's flanked by two inscriptions, "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," along with the coin's denomination, 1 cent. The simple but powerful design reflects the values and ideals that Abraham Lincoln stood for, making the penny an important reminder of American history. Although the design remained the same as in previous years, the minting process for the 1985 penny was an interesting one. By the 1980s, the U.S. Mint was facing rising production costs, particularly for the raw materials used in coinage. In fact, the cost of minting pennies had been steadily increasing for years, largely due to the rising price of copper, which made up the majority of the penny's composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint had already made the decision to reduce the amount of copper in the penny, replacing it with zinc to help lower production costs. By 1985, this new composition of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper had become standard for the penny. The economic factors at play in the 1980s contributed to the ongoing debate about the future of the penny, as many people began to question its actual value in the modern economy. Yet, despite the increasing costs of production, the penny continued to be minted in large quantities, including in 1985. In fact, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies that year, making the 1985 penny one of the most common coins in circulation at the time. However, while most 1985 pennies were widely circulated and saw years of use in daily transactions, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a much rarer and more valuable find today. So why is the 1985 penny so special to collectors? While the design and minting process might seem straightforward, the key to its appeal lies in its rarity in higher grades. Like many other coins, the 1985 penny was widely circulated, which means that most of the coins you'll find today are in less than ideal condition. Coins that were used in everyday transactions typically suffer from wear, scratches, and other signs of aging, which reduces their value. However, some 1985 pennies managed to escape circulation or were carefully preserved by collectors, making them a rarity in excellent condition. The condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear or damage, are much more valuable than those that have seen heavy circulation. A 1985 penny that is in mint state or uncirculated condition, with no visible damage or scratches, can be worth far more than the face value of 1 cent. In fact, these coins are highly sought after by numismatists, who consider them a valuable addition to their collections. Another factor that adds to the appeal of the 1985 penny is the possibility of minting errors. Occasionally, coins are struck with mistakes during the minting process, and these errors can make them highly valuable. For example, some 1985 pennies were struck with double strikes, or they might have had off-center impressions or die cracks. These types of errors are rare and make the coins even more interesting to collectors. When a coin like this is discovered, it can fetch a higher price due to its unique characteristics, but what's even more exciting is that there's a particular variant of the 1985 penny that can make it even more valuable: the proof coin. Proof coins are specially made for collectors and are struck with a higher quality finish than regular circulation coins. These coins are carefully crafted to be perfect in every detail, and they are often sold in limited quantities. A 1985 proof penny in perfect condition can be worth significantly more than a regular circulation coin, and it's an especially prized find for anyone looking to add a rare and beautiful piece to their collection. Now, you might be wondering, what's the value of the 1985 penny today? While most of these coins are worth just their face value of 1 cent, those in exceptional condition or with unique features can fetch impressive sums. A high-grade 1985 penny in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially one with a minting error or proof quality, could be worth as much as $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $45,000 for a single 1985 penny. It's incredible how much a coin that once circulated in daily transactions could be worth today, especially if it's been well preserved or has a unique characteristic. So, if you have a 1985 penny lying around, or you come across one in your collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. With its historical significance, rarity in high grades, and potential for minting errors, the 1985 penny could very well be a hidden gem. Top 4. We're about to explore one of the most interesting pennies in U.S. coinage history, the 1980 United States 1-cent coin. While the 1980 penny may seem like just another coin you can easily find in your pocket change, its history, design, and potential value are far from ordinary. Stick around as we dive into the fascinating details behind this seemingly humble coin, and by the end of this video, we'll reveal how much it could be worth today. Spoiler alert, you might just be surprised, the 1980s were a transformative decade for the United States, not just in politics and culture, but also in the economy and coinage. The 1980 penny was minted at a time when the U.S. economy was going through various changes. After the 1970s, a period of economic challenges and inflation, the country was starting to recover in the early 1980s. Under the presidency of Ronald Reagan, the United States was entering a phase of economic growth, with a focus on reducing inflation and encouraging business development. This environment helped shape the penny of 1980, which, while small, played a key role in daily transactions and reflected the economic atmosphere of its time. The design of the 1980 penny remained consistent with the one that had been used for decades, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This portrait, which was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner in 1909, has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is portrayed in profile on the obverse of the coin, with the words, "Liberty," and the year, 1980, inscribed around him. This design serves as a reminder of Lincoln's legacy and his vital role in preserving the Union during the Civil War, as well as his commitment to equality and freedom. The reverse side of the 1980 penny also featured the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, symbolizes Lincoln's connection to the nation's unity and the ideals of liberty that he stood for. The memorial is surrounded by the inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum," with the words 1 cent clearly displayed at the bottom. The Lincoln Memorial is an enduring symbol of American strength and democracy, and it remains one of the most powerful representations of the U.S. government. In 1980, the minting of pennies was still a significant operation. However, this was also a time when the U.S. Mint was starting to experience the pressures of rising production costs. A penny made of pure copper was becoming more expensive to produce, leading the U.S. Mint to experiment with different compositions to make the coin cheaper to produce. However, the penny of 1980 still contained 95% copper and 5% zinc, which made it heavier and more expensive to produce than the pennies minted after 1982, when the composition changed. Despite the challenges surrounding its production, the penny of 1980 was a workhorse in daily American life. It circulated widely and played a key role in smaller transactions. At the time, inflation wasn't as high as it had been in the 1970s, and the penny was still an important part of the monetary system. Little did anyone know that the 1980 penny would become a sought-after collector's item in the decades to come. As you might expect, most of the 1980 pennies that were minted were used in everyday transactions, meaning they went through a lot of wear and tear. These coins, which were handled daily by millions of Americans, often show signs of aging, including scratches, dings, and discoloration. This is why it's incredibly rare to find a 1980 penny in mint condition today. The majority of the coins are in average or poor condition, which means they don't hold much value beyond their face value of 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1980 pennies are relatively common and worth very little, there are certain factors that can make this particular coin highly valuable to collectors. The condition of a coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that are well preserved, with no visible damage or wear, are far more valuable than coins that show signs of heavy use. A 1980 penny that has been carefully stored or kept in uncirculated condition can fetch significantly more than a penny that has seen years of circulation. The rarity of finding a well-preserved 1980 penny is what drives its collector appeal. Since most of the coins produced that year were used extensively, those that were kept in mint condition are few and far between. Collectors know this, and they're always on the lookout for coins that are in the best possible condition. So if you happen to come across a 1980 penny that looks like it's just been minted, you may have a valuable piece on your hands. Another aspect that increases the value of a 1980 penny is the possibility of minting errors. As with many other coins, some pennies from 1980 were struck with errors during the production process. These errors can include double strikes, off-center impressions, or die cracks, all of which make the coin unique and even more desirable to collectors. A 1980 penny with a noticeable minting error can be worth much more than a regular coin in perfect condition, as these errors are rare and add to the coin's distinctiveness. The 1980 penny is also a popular choice among collectors because of its historical significance. The penny represents a transitional moment in U.S. coinage. Although the U.S. Mint still used copper in its production, the 1980 penny was one of the last to be made with a high copper content before the minting process changed in 1982. For collectors who focus on the historical aspects of coinage, the 1980 penny holds a special place as one of the last coins produced before this major shift. Now, the most exciting part: what is the value of a 1980 penny today? While most of these coins are worth just their face value, a well-preserved 1980 penny in uncirculated condition can be worth a lot more. In fact, a 1980 penny in excellent condition, particularly one with a rare minting error or other unique feature, can be valued as high as $48,000. That's right, $48,000 for a single 1980 penny. So, if you happen to find a 1980 penny in your collection or come across one in your spare change, take a closer look. If it's in pristine condition or has a rare minting error, it could be worth a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1980 penny is a coin you won't want to overlook. Top 5 and last expensive coin. We are going to explore a particular gem in American numismatics, the 1987 United States 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the 1987 penny. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another penny that's been tucked away in countless coin jars across the country, but this seemingly humble piece of currency is far more interesting and valuable than you might think. By the end of this video, we'll reveal just how much this penny could be worth today, and trust me, it's a lot more than you might expect. The 1980s were a unique time in American history. The nation was in the midst of the Reagan administration, a time of economic recovery and growth. The 1987 penny was produced during a period of economic stability, with inflation rates low and consumer confidence on the rise. At the same time, the U.S. was beginning to see the rise of the digital age, with personal computers entering homes and businesses, marking the start of a technological revolution that would change the world. In the world of coinage, however, the design and production of coins like the 1987 penny were just as important as the social and economic changes happening across the country. Minted during this period, the 1987 penny continued the long-standing tradition of honoring President Abraham Lincoln, a figure whose legacy remains one of the most enduring in American history. The penny itself was part of a broader effort to maintain consistency in U.S. currency, with a design that had remained largely unchanged since 1909, when Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln was first introduced on the penny. It was a time of continuity in U.S. coinage, but beneath this surface of consistency, there was also a growing interest in rare coins and the history behind them. The design of the 1987 penny, like all pennies minted after 1959, featured Lincoln's image on the obverse side. Sculpted by Brenner, the profile of Lincoln is an iconic representation of the 16th President of the United States. The penny was designed to celebrate his legacy as the leader who preserved the Union during the Civil War and advocated for the abolition of slavery. Around Lincoln's portrait are the words, "Liberty," and the year, 1987, with the motto, E pluribus unum, engraved on the rim. The reverse side of the 1987 penny also stayed true to the tradition established in 1959, depicting the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Lincoln Memorial, designed by architect Henry Bacon, stands as a symbol of American unity, equality, and freedom, values that Lincoln fought for throughout his life. Surrounding the image of the memorial are the words, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. This reverse design, along with the obverse, continued to reflect the ideals and symbols of the United States, making the penny a powerful reminder of the country's history. The 1987 penny was made primarily from copper-plated zinc, which had become the standard composition for U.S. pennies since 1982. This composition helped to address rising production costs due to the increasing price of copper. While the penny still had a copper-colored appearance, it was much lighter and less expensive to produce than earlier pennies that were made primarily of copper. The production of the 1987 penny was standard, with billions of these coins minted that year at the U.S. Mint's facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, not all of these coins were meant for circulation. Some were produced for collectors, and it's these particular coins that have become highly sought after in today's numismatic market. Now, while the majority of 1987 pennies were circulated and eventually worn down by daily use, what really makes this penny special to collectors is its rarity in certain conditions. Most of the coins from 1987 were used in everyday transactions, meaning they were subject to the wear and tear of regular handling. Over time, the majority of these coins became heavily scratched, dented, and discolored. The chances of finding an uncirculated 1987 penny, especially one in pristine condition, are relatively slim. But for those lucky enough to find one, the value can be significantly higher than the coin's face value of 1 cent. One of the key factors in determining the value of a coin is its condition. A 1987 penny that has been kept in mint or uncirculated condition is far more valuable than one that has seen heavy circulation. Coins that are in perfect or near-perfect condition are rare and highly prized by collectors. When it comes to the 1987 penny, those that have been carefully preserved, without any visible damage or signs of wear, can be worth significantly more. The rarity of finding a coin like this in excellent condition is what drives its value in the numismatic market. Another important factor that can contribute to the value of the 1987 penny is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when a coin is struck improperly during the production process. These errors can take many forms, from double strikes to off-center impressions, die cracks, and even planchet flaws. A 1987 penny with a noticeable minting error can be worth much more than a standard-issue coin. Collectors actively search for these rare, one-of-a-kind pieces, and when an error is discovered, it can send shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. Additionally, some 1987 pennies were specially made for collectors in proof or uncirculated sets. These coins were struck with a higher level of detail and a more polished finish, making them far more visually appealing and valuable than their circulated counterparts. Proof coins, for example, are made using a special process that results in a much sharper, more defined image, and they are sold in limited quantities. If you're fortunate enough to come across a 1987 penny from a proof set, you could be holding a coin that is significantly more valuable than a regular circulating penny. So, how much is a 1987 penny worth today? While most of these pennies are still worth just 1 cent, the few that are in mint condition or have rare minting errors can fetch a much higher price. A 1987 penny in excellent condition, especially one with a rare error or as part of a proof set, can be worth as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once just part of everyday change could now be worth such a staggering amount. So, if you have a 1987 penny in your collection or come across one in your spare change, take a moment to examine it closely. If it's in excellent condition or has an unusual minting error, you might be holding onto a rare and valuable treasure. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, the 1987 penny is one of those coins that has the potential to surprise you with its value. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey through the history and value of the 1987 United States 1-cent coin. We hope you found this video both informative and exciting. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on future coin discoveries. Who knows? You could be the next lucky collector to find a $40,000 penny. Happy collecting!